Imagine if you post a video about your job and then you're fired.
I love my job. I would have never done anything to jeopardize it.
We have an update into the healthcare workers completely embarrassing themselves.
I don't know if I'm gonna post this video because I'm still shaking and I feel so frazzled.
I don't know if you're aware, but posting about your job is something a lot of people do. In fact, I'm sure that most of us at some point in our lives have posted something about our work or something related to it, whether it just be sitting at a desk, just us talking about our job, or accidentally exposing classified nuclear secrets. You know, just run-of-the-mill type stuff. But recently, these types of posts have been getting people fired. For example, there's the Bri Merrick situation where she posted a day in the life revealing sensitive information. There's the post from employees at a Santa Barbara clinic being disrespectful to patients. Then there's also the story about when a restaurant owner belittled an influencer for not having enough followers. And all of these stories have led to negative consequences for the people involved. But why? Like I said, posting about your job is super common. I mean, a lot of people do it. So why does it seem like more and more people are getting fired for doing it? And at what point does it become justified to fire someone for a post on social media? For example, if I was the best toy maker in the world, but I hated kids, could I work at Santa's workshop?
Welcome to the application process at Santa's workshop. Can I see your resume?
Sure, here it is.
Ah, this is really good. You have a lot of experience, and I see you were awarded the Medal of Best Toy Maker in the World.
Yep, I sure was.
But there is one thing I find a bit odd on here.
What's that?
You wrote that you hate children.
Yes, I did do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird. Like, I don't know why you would put that on a resume.
It's just something I'm really passionate about. So today we're going to explore these stories of people who posted about their job and then face negative consequences, and we're going to see if it's justified or not. First, let's talk about the Bri Merrick situation. If you don't know who Bri Merrick is, she's a beauty influencer who posts videos about makeup, fashion, and her job as a MAC manager at LAX airport, or at least until she was fired.
I love my job. I would have never done anything to jeopardize it.
So as you can see, she's pretty upset about getting fired, which is totally fair. Like, if you love a job and you get fired from it, that really sucks. But why did she get fired? Well, it's because of this video.
Thank you. Have a good day, y'all.
Are you flying to today?
Just Santa.
Oh, fun.
That you're going with, right? Yes. This is Whirl.
So this video right here is what got her fired, and there's a few reasons why. First off, she recorded herself going through TSA and showed her employee badge. She showed operational details such as her getting money, and on top of that, she gave timestamps for these things. And you can probably see why revealing that information might be an issue. I mean, the comments on this video definitely saw it as an issue. I'm sorry, girl, you showed private company info, and also with it being the airport and high security, this was to be expected. Oh no, girlie, as someone who also works at an airport, you broke so many security procedures. Never ever film what doors you access and your badge. So what do we learn today? With a nice picture of the dog of judgment. Then after posting that video, she was fired by the airport, not the MAC brand itself. To sum that whole situation up, she was fired for revealing sensitive information. So what are our thoughts on that? Well, there's a few things. First off, it seems like it should be common sense not to record some of this, specifically the time you get money out of the cash register, because it really just seems like all that's doing is asking for trouble. That's like if I'm a detective trying to catch a criminal and then I post videos with timestamps about what I'm doing during an investigation. 9 a.m. Looking for the candy store criminal at the park. 10 a.m. Assembling all of our evidence so far. 11 a.m. We've gotten a tip he's at his apartment. Going to check it out. 11:30 a.m. I think we've been lied to because nobody's here. 12 p.m. Discussing the places we're least likely to find criminals. 1 p.m. He's gone. And not to sound like a boomer, because I don't want to sound like a boomer, but this is something I really think social media does to us, specifically if we're trying to create content. Like, we're constantly on the hunt for content, we're constantly on the hunt for new ideas, so sometimes we might lose our common sense trying to make new content. Can you hear that guy outside my room, my window, my door, whatever? He's being loud. But look, does lacking common sense in a situation and then making a mistake constitute getting fired? Like, I feel like they could have almost given her a warning or something. I mean, the video's already been posted. It's not like she can undo that people have already seen it, and probably some people have downloaded it. But she can get a warning and be told not to do it again. She can be trained not to do it again. And really, we've all had moments of losing our common sense. Like when I walk through the ice cream aisle at the grocery store, I have no control over what I do. It's what led to the great ice cream incident. and I have no regrets. I would do it again. Anyways, I can see both sides of this Bri Merrick situation, but ultimately the airport has the final say and the final authority, and really I don't think it's unjustified that she got fired. I don't know though, let me know your thoughts on that. The next story I want to look at comes from a clinic in the city of whale watching, otherwise known as Santa Barbara. It's also where the show Psych takes place, so shout out if you know that show. Anyways, this incident took place because of this video. I don't think you need to be Batman, the world's greatest detective, first appearing in Detective Comics 27 in May 1939 to see that this is probably a bad idea. I mean, come on, there's literally patient stuff on the chair. And these employees are posing like they're on a Snapchat story from 2017. I mean, this girl's giving a thumbs up, which maybe it's just me, but this does not seem like a thumbs up kind of situation. Then there's this lady doing that weird pose that again looks like it's from a 2017 Snapchat story. And then there's this lady with her tongue out, which let me make my thoughts on that very clear. Ew, it's gross. And I don't even want to talk about the caption, but I will talk about it. It says, guess the substance. You know, I would really rather not, actually. So yeah, here's what one TikToker had to say about the situation.
Which one of y'all decided that this was a good idea? To film, post, all of that. All y'all got in on this. The girl with her tongue out, Like, I just imagine they're like, this is gonna be so funny. Becky, just come on. Everybody's gonna have a little giggle embarrassing our patients.
And within 48 hours of the original post, all of these employees were fired. And if I'm being honest, this is not surprising at all. I mean, not only were these employees very unprofessional, they kind of violated the trust of their patient. Like, I can't imagine if I went to the doctor for something and then they started making fun of me. Thanks for checking me out, doctor. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. No problem. We'll get it figured out. Alien head. What was that? Nothing, just thinking to myself. Okay, cool. Mr. Peanut looking head. Yeah, I just kind of feel like you're making fun of me or something. No, I'm not. Just because I think you look like you came from planet Zurg, it doesn't mean I would say it. So for that reason, I think this is fully justified. I actually think this is a clear-cut example of the type of content you shouldn't post on social media. And I'm sure many of you would agree with me on that, but let me know if you disagree, because I'm actually curious if there's any valid reason that they shouldn't have been fired, because this one just seems pretty straightforward to me. Now let's talk about the restaurant owner who belittled an influencer for not having enough followers during a collab, and this story started with this video.
I don't know if I'm gonna post this video because I'm like still shaking and I feel so frazzled, but I just left a restaurant collaboration crying. I had a TikTok collab with a new restaurant in Hayes Valley that I was really excited for. I had it planned since last week. My reservation was at 5:30, but I went a little early at 5:10, so it was just me. My husband was gonna meet me there. When I get there, I'm greeted by the host and I introduce myself, tell him I'm here for the collab, and he was actually the guy I was speaking on Instagram with about it, so we were on the same page and ready to go. I started to film around the restaurant because I like to do that early on when there's less people. And after filming for a bit, I sit down at the table that's prepped for me, and it's a bar counter seat. I'm continuing to film the setup in the kitchen and stuff because it's really cute, but I hear the host and this other guy talking. And this other guy is behind the counter, so it's a small restaurant. He's like 2 or 3 feet away from me, so I can hear everything they're saying. I know that they're talking about me because I can hear them saying TikTok, views, followers, so I start listening in. The new guy is asking the host who I am, why I'm here, and how many followers I have on TikTok and what my TikTok is. And this guy pulls up my TikTok and says that I have 15,000 followers and I have some videos have millions of views, whatever, and this guy is not happy about it. He was saying that I have too little followers and that this was a mistake.
She then goes on to say how this guy didn't think she had enough followers, that her videos weren't high enough quality for the restaurant, and that the collab was a mistake. And while Carla didn't specifically name the restaurant in her video, it didn't take long for people to figure out what restaurant she was talking about, and then people review bombed it more than post-Avengers Endgame's Marvel movies. That's saying something. Then this was followed up by the restaurant owner releasing an apology.
Luke Sung of Kiss Cafe has apologized. And Luke, who doesn't have a social media presence of his own, put out a public apology through Kiss Cafe's IG, and he wrote, "Hi everyone, I'm Luke Sung, previous chef of Kiss Cafe. It was important for me to first apologize to Carla privately and step away from Kiss Cafe before publicly apologizing. Carla, I'm truly sorry for my actions towards you. I was condescending, hurtful, intimidating. You did not deserve to be made to feel less than or unimportant. Nobody does. Regardless, I thank you for teaching me a valuable lesson in kindness and respect. There are no excuses to be made, and I've decided it's time for me to step away from Kiss Cafe permanently and in all capacities." And especially for all the people whose heads rattle when they move saying, "Oh, we don't know what happened beforehand," this is the next part. I also want to be clear, the responsibility of this whole situation is mine alone, and my behavior should not be a reflection on anyone else who works there or anyone who is related to me. I truly care about my staff, and I'm devastated that my actions have impacted both them and their families.
And now this restaurant, Kiz Cafe, is permanently closed. There the guy is again, outside my window. So this guy got fired from his own restaurant by social media. It's kind of an interesting way things worked out. So this story I'm a little bit more torn on because of course the restaurant owner shouldn't have acted like that, but also I don't think it really means his whole restaurant should be permanently closed. I don't know if owning a restaurant was this guy's like ultimate dream in life, but if it was, then his whole dream was just taken from him because of a mistake he made. And at the end of the day, it's not like he committed any vicious and extremely dangerous criminal act. I mean, he just was kind of rude. And I'd probably lean more towards saying that I don't think his restaurant should have been shut down, but let me know your thoughts on that. Really, I think a lot of this is just a symptom of social media, specifically how our brains are now almost desensitized and our common sense is sometimes blocked. I feel like in these cases, it's mainly just the mistakes of people who weren't thinking through what they're doing. And to be honest, I see that playing out a lot in real time because, for example, I cannot go on Threads or I cannot go on X anymore because the people on there are absolutely super out of touch with reality. Like every time I go through it, it's like I'm actively rotting my brain. Like the amount of common sense people don't have anymore is insane. Like I cannot understate how insane it is. Another example of that is the living alone diaries, where people, mostly women in this case, post about living alone and in some cases dox themselves, which you can learn more about that by watching this video right here. But other than that, thanks for watching and I will see you next time.